Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to day 3 of the Mike Mondo New York Sports Show. Yes, and I am a Mike Mondo. So, we are here on day 3. It is Saturday, July 25th, 2026. So, I know I was super excited a few days ago. I was like, oh, it's Thursday and training camp is open, and yes, yes, yes. And it's true. It was really, really exciting. Training camp opened on Thursday, and it's the new John Harbaugh era, and we've got camp coming in and stuff and everything. But it really was, at the end of the day, it was just the rookies showing up, right? I mean, training camp is open, but training camp really opens next week when the veterans show up, and then everyone starts getting together, and then they start planning on hitting and all that kind of good stuff. So right now we're in the third day of rookie camp, which is cool. I haven't heard of anybody, once again, getting hurt. Thank you, God. But so what are we going to talk about right now? So why don't we just kind of jump into this real quick, because we just found out the other day that they announced the PUP list. I exactly how that works. I'm sure most of you guys are like, you know how it works at the beginning of the season, how it works with camp. I'm not really sure, but either way, whether it's official or not, the whole word was that Malik Nabers was not going to be on the PUP list, which means that he was going to be available to at least practice. So if you're not on the PUP list right now, the team is expecting you to play. If Malik Nabers was not going to be, if I think that if the Giants felt that Malik Nabers was not going to be available on week 1, maybe he'd be on the PUP list. Maybe that happens later on during the camp. You guys can tell me. I'm not really sure, but I think that's kind of how it works. Maybe this just makes him available to practice. But either way, the fact that Malik Nabers was not on the PUP list, player unable to play. I think that's what it is, right? So, excuse me. So the fact that he wasn't on the PUP list means that, all right, progress is happening, which is good. I know there are like kind of like two sides of the argument right now with Malik Nabers, because I think everyone can agree, for the most part, that Malik Nabers, when he's healthy, is the number 1 wide receiver for the New York Giants, right? And that's what we want. I think it's also, for the majority of us, that when Malik Nabers comes back, you want him to be healthy. The last thing that anybody wants to see is Malik Nabers come back and then all of a sudden hobble off the field and know that he blew out his knee again, or something else happened, or he came back too early, or all the above, right? So I think these are good signs that are saying that Malik Nabers is making progress coming back. And maybe he'll be available for week 1 in the season, which would be great. It would be great for Jaxson Dart. It would be great for the offense. It would be great for us fans. It would be great for everybody that talks about the Giants, right? But if he's not ready, just don't play. Just don't play. As much as I want to see you play, and you know what? Anything can happen. The New York Giants may make a magical run and have the possibility for a Super Bowl. That is the beauty of sports, because all things are possible, right? In the beginning of the season. But even if that's the case, I would rather have, and I would think that most Giants fans would rather have, is a healthy Malik Nabers at the end of the season. So if we are coming down towards the end of the season and we are in December and we are looking to kind of try to lock up a playoff berth or division title, I say division title. That would be cool. So say it's December. Let's just think big. Let's think big. It's December, and the Giants are playing in some cold, nasty weather, trying to lock up the NFC East, as we should. I think we should. So if that's the case, and it's week 14, 15, 16, 17, all those teams, I want Malik Nabers on the field. I want our number one wide receiver to be on the field and available to our franchise quarterback, Jaxson Dart, and the rest of our offense. So that means that if he's not healthy, if he's not ready, if there's any question that Malik Nabers should even be on the field right now, obviously I don't think they're going to rush him back. Then don't play him. Maybe he's not available for a starter for week one, to start in week one. But we are weeks and weeks away from it. We're still in July. That's like September. So we got a month and a half. The beauty of training camp, right? So let's just talk about how we handle Malik Nabers right now. Why the Giants should be cautious about him, and why we should, maybe think about holding him back a little bit. Now, I want him to be ready. I want him to be out there. But if he's out there on the sidelines riding a bike and he's running some routes with the backup quarterback, that's cool. If this kid is ready to play and he's healthy, like 100% healthy, let him loose. Let him loose, man. Let him do his thing. Because Malik Nabers plus Jaxson Dart equals excitement. It equals explosiveness. And it equals points. There's no doubt in my mind that when Malik Nabers is on the field and he is I just got interrupted right there. Somebody opened the door. They did not see that red light that says, "Do not come in. Dad is recording his podcast." I don't have a red light or a tag or anything like that, so I have no control over it. They just know that I'm recording. So either way. But the whole fact is that if Malik Nabers is available to play, let him play. The importance of him being available to play it's the intangibles, right? We know that he is going to be able to put up points. I was looking at his stats here earlier, and I mean, as a rookie, so not last year, but as a rookie, I mean, 15 games, 1,200 yards. I mean, superstar, rookie superstar, and obviously after 4 games, he was cut short with 270 yards. But if we are going to play Malik Nabers, he better be healthy. He really, really better be healthy. And this is it's a new regime, right, with John Harbaugh and this Giants. But didn't it feel like that we always had players being hurt, and maybe, I'm not a doctor. I mean, at all. I mean, I struggle with just kind of putting on Band-Aids and stuff like that. So I'm not a doctor, but it always seemed like you question the medical staff, and that's not what I'm doing. I'm not questioning the medical staff. I respect what they do. But, you're always kind of worried, did a guy come back too early? Did they misdiagnose something? What's going on? I was actually listening to something, I guess, I forgot who it was. I was listening to somebody, and I'll come back to it, but in New York sports, so we're talking today about Malik Nabers' injury. So he blew out his ACL. We hear this all the time. But now there's a difference between blowing out your ACL when you're leaping versus when you're landing. I did not know that. But apparently that is something that, it's not only just blowing out your ACL, it's like, how did you blow out your ACL? So if he blew out his ACL leaping instead of landing, it had something different, and maybe, it has taken him a while. But, I mean, I think we live in a world of instant gratification, and, it wasn't, well, maybe when I was younger, when I was a kid, if someone blew out their ACL, not only was like their career over, but if they came back, it was going to be like years. And if they came back, they weren't even going to be the same. And now we have Malik Nabers, who blew out his knee in week 4, and everyone's like, well, why isn't he going to be ready for week 1? So less than a year later, you're expecting Malik Nabers to be back and be ready and ready to be the man again. So let's digress to that. Let's go to like his impact on the field, because I think this is really important. it's the same thing with any football player, but let's just talk about Malik Nabers because it is like for Jaxson Dart, right? When Jaxson Dart is out there, you want him to be able to do his thing. You want him to be healthy and confident, and these guys feel like they can do anything. Now, you don't want Jaxson Dart to go out there and get blown up and destroyed again, right? We don't want to do that. And we don't want to do that for Malik Nabers. But when Malik Nabers comes back out onto the field, you want him to be confident. You want him to be confident in that knee. You want him to feel confident that he is going to be able to do his thing and not have any restrictions and worry about being hurt, right? So they always talk about it. I don't even know what the cliche is, but, you know, it was like this last year with Jaxson Dart. You know, people were like, man, this kid is taking too many hits. He's too aggressive. He needs to tone it down. Maybe he should pull it back, blah, 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 right? Yeah, of course. You were watching the game. I don't want to see Jaxson Dart rolling out there and just to get an extra yard. But he's a football player. He's a football player. You don't teach these certain qualities in guys. He's a dog, isn't he? You'd say he was. Your quarterback, he's not huge. He's not Ben Roethlisberger, right? He's not a big guy. He's running out there and putting his head down and trying to get the extra yard. That is what you want out of your players. They're ready to do everything they can possibly do to win, just to get the first down, right? So it's not the player's job to pull it back and to kind of like rein them in. That's the coach's job. You know what? You got to pull back on that rein and pull them back and be like, dude, you can't do this. Or you need to design plays or whatever you got to do to protect him. You do that. That's the coach's job, right? So you let the player play. And if it's in his DNA to go out there and be wide open and expose himself to injury because he's trying to win, it's football. It's football, baby. So the coaches got to figure out, how do we protect this kid? And I think what I was trying to say in a long-winded way, it's the same thing with Malik Nabers. When Malik Nabers comes back on the field, you don't want him to have to worry about, can I go all out? Can I put the pedal to the metal? Can I just like ball and not worry about my knee? So the doctors have to make sure that, you know what, he's fine. When Malik Nabers steps foot on the field, he's 100%. His knee is good. He doesn't have to worry about anything. It's a confidence thing. It's a head thing, right? So if that's the case and the medical team says structurally and medically Malik Nabers is fine, then you're like, okay. So Malik Nabers has to know that his knee is good and he could go out and do his thing. And then if he goes out and does his thing, then it's up to the coaches to make sure that they are putting him in a position to succeed, not get hurt again. If they got to pull back the reins, to pull back the reins. If they kind of just let it go and let him go wide open, then go wide open. But either way, there's a lot of moving parts. And to get back to the beginning of the whole discussion was this. Malik Nabers is not on the PUP list. PUP, like puppy. The puppy list. The PUP list. He is not on the PUP list, which means that they feel like he could probably play. And all I want to know is that when Malik Nabers sets foot on that field, and not in just drills or warm-ups, when he goes out there and we're having contact, that he's healthy and that he feels good here and here, and that the coaches are going to do the right thing. And then we're all going to work together to make sure that this kid, who is a legit number one, and what we saw in his rookie season says superstar all over it, says all pro all over it. And you know what? At the end of the day, that's exactly what Jaxson Dart needs. He needs Malik Nabers. I mean, we've got some wide receivers here. I was kind of like, looking at our our roster. So, I mean, after Malik Nabers, we've got Calvin Austin and Odell. Oh, Odell Beckham is back. Oh, my gosh. Man, if this guy can play, that'll be all right. Anyway, and then Braxton Berrios. And then we've got a bunch of guys. Malachi Fields, who I think is going to be a fantastic addition. Jalen Hyatt, who needs to produce this year. Isaiah Hodgins, which is one of those guys that he can play. I mean, does he find a place? But either way, you go up and down that roster. Right at the top of there is number one, Malik Nabers. And that's who Jaxson Dart needs. And he needs a healthy Malik Nabers. He needs him healthy in body, in mind, in spirit, and all the above. Because if Malik Nabers is healthy this year, and Jaxson Dart takes the next step, and the offensive line does what an offensive line is supposed to do, block and protect and open holes for the running backs, and our defense is better at stopping the run this year, we're going to be all right. We are going to be all right. But on offense, we have a healthy, confident Jaxson Dart and a healthy, confident Malik Nabers. Baby, watch out. Because this offense is going to be something exciting and special to watch. It's going to be something that we haven't seen in a long time. Bring me back to Eli, baby. Right? No disrespect to Daniel Jones. Because I like Daniel Jones. I like DJ. I hope he does well in Baltimore. Indy. Yeah, not Baltimore. I'm so old. But either way, Malik Nabers and Jaxson Dart are potentially the most explosive quarterback and number one wide receiver duo in the league. Mark my words, Giants fans. I'm sorry. I'm just excited. Just excited to play football. So that's day 3 here at rookie training camp. We didn't even talk about rookies. We'll talk about rookies tomorrow. But everyone's been talking about Malik Nabers and this whole thing. So I'm excited to see him play. I want him to be healthy. But something tells me he's going to be back. And this kid's got the attitude. Man, between him and Jaxson Dart, I don't think there's a room big enough for the sway and the swag and the attitude between these two cats. I really don't. So I'm excited to see it. I just want them to be healthy. I want them to be smart. And I feel like they're going to. I really, really do. So thank you very much, guys. Hit the subscribe button if you're still here. This was a long one. If you are still here, you are the man and the woman for sticking around, and I appreciate it. I really, really do. So like, subscribe, leave me a comment, talk to me. I'm going to set up my social media account so we can talk some more. But either way, football is back, baby. Football is back. So welcome and thank you for being here for Mike Mondo's New York Sports. And I am Mike Mondo. I love you guys. I'll see you soon, probably tomorrow. All right? Have a great Saturday night. Hit that button.